In case you're new here, I'm Ellie and this is Luke. 4 years ago, we purchased an abandoned homestead property in North Idaho and have been building an off-grid cabin ever since. Then, in July of 2024, we purchased a home on acreage also in North Idaho and have moved out there in hopes of creating a self-sufficient farm and homestead. Make sure to subscribe and follow along on our journey. Today's video brought to you by Vitomin.
All right, so it is finally spring in North Idaho, which means winter is here. Got about, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 inches of snow, probably closer to 12. I have plowed one time, that was early in the winter, so we're starting to get a little built up, so got to get that cleaned out. It's not ideal with the bucket. That's all I have right now. I've been shopping around for a proper snow plow. Not hard to come by, and they're pretty expensive. So for now, we just got to make do with what we got. So we're gonna get this sucker unburied and get to work. Come here, kitty.
Alright, it's Friday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. I am flying solo today. Luke had to go to work, unfortunately, and it is dumping snow. Well, maybe not quite dumping, but it has been snowing since sometime last night. I have to make a run to town, and I have to go clear into Coeur d'Alene because we are basically out of hay, and I need Luke and I need the tractor to get the big bale into the hay feeder that he built me, so I'm gonna have to scrounge and go to like North 40 and just get an overpriced bale of hay to get the horses through the weekend. So I'm hoping the roads are not bad, but that's what I'm gonna do right now. We have been burning a lot of wood. We just came out of a cold snap today, basically. It got pretty chilly here. We probably got down into the negative 15, 16 range. We've had a very mild winter up until that. And as you know, this is our first winter in the house and we're burning wood. We do have a furnace, but the furnace heat is powered by electricity and it's really expensive. So we've been using wood for 99.9% of all our heat and it's been great. We've just been burning through the wood a lot just because it was freezing. So I'm hoping we have enough to last the winter. There's a pile on our deck and then another big pile by the greenhouse, so we will find out if we have enough. So far, I think we'll have enough wood. I guess it'll be a really interesting YouTube video if we run out. Ugh. Shout out to Tractor Supply for having hay bales, and they weren't compressed either, which is actually kind of nice. Most places around here just carry compressed. $19 a bale later! But I just needed one because when Luke gets off work, we will go to our favorite local supplier and get the big bale. So this will just get my boys through the weekend. Hopefully I can get out. And I did not wear the right shoes. Don't you do it. Scram! I don't know if you wanted this or cared, but you're getting one. A mini update on the feeder Luke built. Working fantastic. And the amount of loss, like hay they've pulled out and stomped into the ground, has been really, really low. And I don't know if that's because they're just not pulling the hay out or Jack is eating it, which either option is fine with me. Right now I'm just unraveling the net so I can dump this hay bale in it. But overall, I'm really loving this. Luke didn't really use like a blueprint or a pattern. He just kind of, you know, had it all in his head and went from there. But if anyone's interested, I'm sure he could figure out like kind of a rough materials list if you're interested. So, all right, so I got this all untangled. So now I gotta figure out the best way to get all the hay back in here. And like I said, this bale just has to last us until like Monday or Tuesday, where we can go down to Twin Lakes farm and feed. If you know, you know. Because I'm not wasting anything, I'm putting all this loose hay back in. There we go. Shit. So now I'm just gonna shove this big bale into here. Maybe try to loosen up the flakes a little bit. This is a Hay Chicks big bale net. I bought it, God, about years ago. Didn't really need it at the time. I'm so glad I did, because these are like really expensive now. All right, so that's actually gonna last them a lot longer than I thought. We probably won't have to get hay for, I don't know, a week maybe? We'll see how long this lasts. So for those who don't know, the point of the net is so they can't just like inhale this, because eating a ton really fast isn't really good for them. It doesn't mimic naturally grazing as if they, you know, were eating grass out in the field. So the small holes make it so they can only pull out like a little bit at a time, and that's fine. Keeps them occupied for a long time. Helps prevent obesity. This one, he's getting older and he looks a little skinny right now, so I got some different supplements to try. See if I can't pack some weight on. I just broke my tripod. God, Alonzi, come on. I expected so much better from you. It's not even that cold out. And I snapped it. Well, I'm gonna unload this and get back inside because it's not cold, but it's not really fun to be out in this, so. Come on! So a lot of people, when they hear that our cats are outdoor cats, they immediately start to feel bad for them. I don't think you should feel bad for them. Here's why. Our cats get to sleep inside an old shed on our property that we've converted essentially to a walk-in tack room, feed room, and cat house, and we call it Meow-a-Lago. I'm gonna show you why we call it Meow-a-Lago. So to start, they've got a little cat door. They can go in and out whenever they want. I'm gonna close the door because it's cold out. Hopefully it's not too dark. This is Meow-a-Lago. You'll notice it's got some amenities that you would not normally find inside a cat house. For example, the chandelier. Yes, our cats have a chandelier inside their house. Next up, ignore this part. Next up, you'll notice the walls are actually insulated, drywalled, painted, and we even have beadboard, whatever you call this. Next, our cats have not one, but two different feeding stations. You'll notice there's, Bandit, quit! You'll notice there's different colored cat food. That's because our cats are spoiled. And we buy them 2 different types of cat food depending on what their mood is. Next, they have an automatic waterer. Our cats are spoiled because they get to have their pick of where they want to sleep every night. Here are some of their options. They like to sleep right there on top of this little insulated cat house. It's almost like a little cave in there, kind of reminding them of their wild counterparts, mountain lions. They can also sleep on the saddle rack. Dahmer, for example, likes to sleep up here on the 3rd rung. Whereas Jeffrey prefers the padded cellar, where I put down a bunch of fleece saddle pads. And then last but definitely not least, the reason these cats are so spoiled, they have a heater. And because this place is insulated, it stays pretty warm. It got down to -15, maybe almost -20 a few nights ago, and these guys were in here snuggled up like bugs in a rug. You see that right too. So anyways, that's why we call it Meow-a-Lago. What do you think of Meow-a-Lago, huh? What do you think of Meow-a-Lago? What do you think of Meow-a-Lago? You're only allowed in here when I come in here. That's right. So it's been a lazy Saturday here, which I really needed. Yeah, I've got a lot to do, but it just feels really good to just enjoy heat from the wood stove, kind of just be lazy. But I do have to go outside at some point today. I'm gonna need to go out later and it'll probably be dark when I do. So I gotta charge my headlamp. Where that went. And so I'm gonna use this Vitomin power station. So we really like power stations. You've probably realized that by now. It's kind of fun just to see the different types that come out. We've reviewed so many at this point. I feel like we should do a video where we just like put them all side by side and compare, just because we have every model, we've probably used a version of it, or there's so many companies, and the good news is they're all actually pretty good. Some are better than others. This is our second one from this company, Vitomin, kind of a weird name, but it's not a bad product. So I'm gonna use it to charge my headlamp. There she goes. So the nice thing about a lot of these new ones is, oh God, I hope I'm in focus. We'll find out. The nice thing about a lot of these newer models is you can turn on the different outputs, inputs yourself to kind of save some power that way. A few years ago that wasn't an option, and now it's basically standard on everything. And they're getting really good at holding charges for a really long time. So you can charge it up once and then you can let it sit, which is great because power outages happen when you're least expecting them, and you need to be able to pull your stuff out right away and have the battery ready for use. So this has been sitting for a while. We didn't even charge it up fully. It's at 80%, and I know it wasn't charged to 100. So this is great. I'm just gonna use it to charge my headlamp. By the way, this is a great brand. It's super bright. The only downside with this is it's so bright and so powerful, you do have to charge it every few days. Just FYI. All right, it's a beautiful, sunny, warm Sunday. It's like almost 50 degrees out, and I'm inside. But that's because we just got sent this new infrared sauna. I'm not gonna tell you the brand or a whole lot about it just yet because I think that's gonna be a whole new video, but today I am gonna clean it. So Luke set it up, and the setup process was not bad at all, but it just needs to get cleaned. Like, I just wanna give it a really good vacuum, dust, get out whatever came from the manufacturer. It didn't really have a smell when we set it up, but before we start using it, and you know, because it's gonna get very hot in here, I just wanna make sure it's cleaned the best that it can. And so I'm gonna vacuum it first. And just to kind of see how this works, I'm gonna use something else that we just got. So I'm gonna vacuum it out, but I'm gonna power the vacuum using this Vitomin Flash Speed 6000. Why? Just because I can. I'm just kind of curious if this thing can power our big vacuum, because it's pretty powerful, so I'm curious. So a couple things about the Flash Speed 6000. It's your run-of-the-mill, pretty standard portable power station. This one's very simple, but I like that, honestly. It's got the 210 watt AC plugins. It's got 2 USB-C and then 2 USB-A regular chargers, and then it's got a DC plug-in. And then if you want to charge it via solar or AC input, DC input, you've got that here, and then there's a screen. So I'll turn it on. Yeah. So it came 100% charged. We've used it a little bit, so it's about 3/4. I'm not gonna charge it. I'm just gonna plug the vacuum in and see how it goes. But it's also got this handy dandy compartment up top, and all the cords are in there. And then the 2 handles on the side. I like this one because I can lift it up. A lot of the portable power stations we have are getting bigger and heavier and heavier. And so this one's nice because I can move it around. Oh, and I did before I forget, this one does have the light bar at the back, right? And then there's the flash, and then there's SOS. You just never know. Maybe you're gonna need it one day. 75 when I started, pretty much done vacuuming, and now I'm at 61, and I expected about that much power to be used. Hey, let's turn it on and see what the output was. Just under 600 watts, and that's, like I said, about what I expected because this vacuum is pretty powerful. Well, honestly, that's okay because this was really helpful that I could even run the vacuum with this, because there's spots in the house where there's not as many plugins as there are others, and so this means I can just tote this with me instead of having to unravel the cord and have a big long cord I'm tripping over. So very helpful for that. I have glass cleaner, but I don't really want to use it. I don't know, I need to do some research on what's safe to use in saunas. Alrighty. I forgot, we have to go get hay. Okay, stay there, Bandit. No, you be a good boy. Stay there. We have this weird heat wave coming through. It's probably like 40 degrees right now, and everything is melting, so it's a mess. We're gonna run to Twin Lakes, pick up another round bale for the ponies. Nice seat covers. Go on. Shoo. Our first time using the feeder Luke built.
So he built it with a gate. So I've already taken the pieces out. So now
You are the worst pony ever. You stepped right on it twice.
I saw it.
I got hay allergies.
Slowly. Little more. Good. I felt like I made that more stressful than it needed to be. Hi, Bubby. Okay, sweet boy.
You are such a terror. The hay bale net that we put on
Makes it so it's harder for them to just like devour the bale because of the netting. Slows them down. Well, in theory, it slows them down. His mouth is so tiny, he can just reach in. We put about 500 pounds of hay in here back in January, and that lasted us about a month. So the guy said this was 750 to 800 pounds, so this in theory should last a little bit longer than that, so we'll see. That was exciting. But this way I don't have to come out and feed morning and night. They have 24/7 hay, which I think is healthy. the best for them because they can't graze in the winter.